People might find them interesting as well. And we started involving friends of ours around the country and a couple of folks from around the world in these conversations, which we now tape every week, and these are some of my colleagues in doing that. Jim Jacoby here is the founder of Manifest, works with us on helping businesses, corporations, and brands untangle business problems. Carolyn Chandler is the head of our user experience practice and literally wrote the textbook on it. Brian Campen, our social media director, and Tanara Schneider is a senior UX person as well. So we want to talk about a particular obsession of ours right now. And our obsession right now has to do with what the world will look like after digital disruption, which is the problem being created by everybody in this room. And we're not talking about Twitter, we're talking about commerce and community slammed together with Moore's Law. How everything is changing in ways that we can't keep up with it. By the way, an aside, I should tell you, we have no presentation, we don't know where this is going to go. So you're part of this as well. So we're fascinated by what happens if that, in the wake of digital disruption. And so far we've identified the three major elements of this sort of the world after digital disruption. The first one is that value chains are collapsing. So I'm interested to know how many folks here are involved with or founding businesses that help people do things more directly without having to go through middlemen. I don't know, is that anybody? No, okay. Yes, okay, thank you. The second we'll talk about is transparency. That's one of the major elements that is allowing, it's happening now, and of course we've talked about it a lot today, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. And then the third is speed. So changing value chains, speed, and transparency. So Jim, business models.
Yes. I did notice how well orchestrated this is, and you have us all seated as the shortest guy here. We are beneath you, which is perfect. So,
thank you.
In talking about business models, wanted to bring up the point that, as Jeff said, we're all in the process of reinventing these businesses. We are people who are not necessarily trained to reinvent businesses, but here we are doing it. And something that we wanted to really raise is the fact that as we're, to use a fancy word, disintermediating the middleman, we are, as Jeff said, putting parties together who've never been together before. And this isn't McKinsey doing this isn't Price Waterhouse doing it, it's us. It's agencies, it's marketers, it's creative people doing this on a daily basis. And so a lot of what I think about from moment to moment is what's going to happen. In 96 or thereabouts, I would say somebody like CBS Records was out of business. They didn't know it, but they were dead. They were dead men walking. They were out of business. And there are a number of businesses also that are frankly untenable, and they don't even know it because here we come. And so if we look at something like a market where there are a number of inefficiencies built into that market so that a variety of people can make money off of it, that's clearly assailable by all of us, right? And so if we look at any market and say, what would happen if I removed the scaffolding from this market, if I removed all of the inefficiencies, if I removed all of the middlemen, what would happen? Well, you would put two people directly together, to a business and a consumer directly together who had never been together before, and they'd probably screw it up because they wouldn't know how to deal with each other. So then you think about, well, what if we add one intermediary back into that process? What does that mean? What if we needed maybe two? What if we needed maybe three? Let's not go too far so we don't recreate the scaffolding that's kind of screwed us up to begin with. But we should be modeling those things, and we should only be allowing those things to come to components to enter that